Wonder how the employees feel about the Stamats commercial art collection. Well, I'm going right to a source. Tami has decided to join us and to give us her feedback about the art collection and the significance it has to her daily life here as an employee. How do you feel about the art collection? What difference does it make in your day to have all of these beautiful pieces of art around you?
With me, it first hit me, I guess, the day that I came to the office to do an interview before I started to work here. And when you opened up the front doors, immediately the different pieces that were on the wall, the Indian headdresses and things like that, the uniqueness of it was apparent, and it gives the building character and interest, and I think that's a reflection of the people that work within it, both designers, writers, creative type people, as well as those people that are on what we would call the cognitive side of things, and the amount of information that I have been able to learn just from those people that I'm surrounded with every day.
You were here during the flood.
Yes.
As an employee, correct? What happened?
There was a lot of water.
Yes.
What happened the day that specifically sticks in my mind, we received an email in the morning that it was supposed to have flood waters were going to be at their peak here in our particular area. And Bill had requested those employees that were going to be in the area that lived here in town if they could get to the building and meet in the parking lot. We were trying to figure out how to get into the building because we couldn't open the doors because of the force of the water. So we figured out we needed to get on top of the building. So I actually called my father, who brought an extension ladder down so that we could get on top of the building. And Susan Stamats had a boat here, so they were taking people by boat from the parking lot over to the access area where the ladder was to the top of the building, and then we had an entrance because we have a loft inside the building. We were on a mission, and we were told for liability purposes we needed to be in the building as quick as we could, try to rescue whatever artwork we could get our hands on. We took it back, then trudged back through the water to the loft area with flashlights in hand and trying to hold on to everything. And then we took it upstairs in the loft to an area where we knew it would be safe until we could take it out.
Did you have a special ownership of saving the art?
The ownership was just the fact that it resembled so much of what the past had been for both the family, and some of the art pieces were photos and art pieces that were done by the family that were totally irreplaceable.
Nancy is another Stamats employee who has agreed to share her story about working in an environment that has art as a part of its DNA. Welcome to Frame, Nancy.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for joining me. Will you tell us your role at the company?
My role and my title is Director of Communication Services.
Does your team ever comment about the art throughout the building serving as an inspiration point?
Oh yes. I hear it the most when we interview a new candidate for whatever position that we might have. Whenever the candidate says, "Tell us about Stamats," immediately it's almost unanimous. Everyone says, "Well, we work in a museum." I mean, it's just absolutely gorgeous, and we love our artwork, and it's inspiring.
Yeah. Does any of the artwork inspire you with your creative abilities?
Oh yeah, it does. It just keeps you in a creative mind all the time to see it and be around it, and even hallway banter between employees is clever puns and clever conversation, and it's just it is very inspiring.
Wonderful.
It's fun.
Oh, I can imagine. I can only imagine what it's like to work here.
There's fun times and crazy times. But.
Speaking of crazy times, you were here for the flood, and that was a pretty intense moment for the company. Will you tell us your story?
It was, I believe, the Thursday after Bill put an email out to a select group of people and said, "Hey, we've got to save our artwork. Can you come help?" And I was more than willing. I mean, it meant a lot to me, and I know how much it means to the Stamats. I remember everyone was very willing to work, but there was this silence and this tension in the air that this is serious stuff, and this really means a lot. And everyone was very focused on getting that artwork and taking care of it for the Staymates. It means a lot.
Sure.
Yeah.
And it's been years, of course, since that event.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel now walking through the front doors, looking at the pieces that you personally touched to save?
I look at those and say, yeah, those were there before and they're still here now, and I am very proud that I was part of that. And it shows a company that really cares for their people and for themselves to,
Sure.
to have a good work environment. And
Absolutely.
it's very important. So,
Thank you for joining us and sharing your story.
well, thank you for inviting me.
You're welcome. The flood. Well, a couple of the employees gave us feedback on the flood. I would really like to hear the story from your point of view, since you have just a deeper level of connection to the art.
That's an emotional topic for me, because we really tried desperately to keep the water at bay, and there were a bunch of us down here sandbagging and keeping the water away. We finally heard this crash. This is June 12th, in the afternoon, and of course the water hit its high peak on the 13th, June 13th, 2008. And we heard the crash to these loading dock doors we have. We knew that the place was just going to fill up with water. So we kind of were, despondent about it. We'd had all of our employees put everything up on tables and chairs, including the artwork, thinking that that would be good enough. We all went home despondent that the place was being flooded, and we were, very unhappy. I got a phone call from my stepmom, Susan. She said, "Do you think the artwork is up high enough?" And I started to think about it, sitting at home eating a ham sandwich, and said, "No, thanks very much for that, because now I'm really scared that it's not up high enough with the way that water was coming in." So I sent an email out to all the Stamats employees at 2:30 in the afternoon. And I said, if you can make it down to Staymates by 3:30, wear shorts and old tennis shoes and bring a flashlight. There's no power. We've got to do something with the artwork and see if we can move it. I had like 35 people show up in our parking lot saying, let's go, let's do this, let's rescue this artwork. So they did. Sorry.
That's okay. Take your time.
Yeah. So we put a ladder up on our building that Tami, VandeWeerd's father, supplied us. We went up the ladder. We all went down the building, 35 people with flashlights. It's pitch black. You can't see anything. And we're gathering all the artwork up, trying to find everything desperately. And we took it all up to an attic space we have, and we put it there. And it was great. We saved it. It was really cool.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
What a testament
I
to
know.
the character of everybody who works here, their love and appreciation and respect for the art,
Exactly.
for the
That's
family,
it. Yeah.
the company, and each other.
And the whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that shows you the kind of employees we have, the kind of family we have for
Right.
employees, the kind of culture that's important to them.
Right.
So, it really touches your heart when you hear that. Yeah, when you do that.
Wonderful. Frame is sponsored by Allegra, Click Marketing Solutions, Style Folio Jewelry,